Station, this is Houston. Are you ready for the event?
Houston Station, I am ready for the event.
High Plains Library District and Star Library Network. This is Mission Control Houston. Please call station for a voice check.
Station, this is High Plains Library District and Star Library Network. How do you hear me?
Greeley, Colorado, I have you loud and clear. Welcome to the International Space Station.
This question is from Dos Rios Elementary School in Evans, Colorado. Can you distinguish between Earth turning for day and night or seasons when you are in space for a long period of time?
So it's interesting, since we're up here, we do have our big window to the Earth called the cupola, and we see the sun rise and set many, many times because we are going so fast around the Earth. But to us up here, honestly, we have our daytime, we have our nighttime. At nighttime, we turn off the lights just like you would in your own house before we go to bed. And so we kind of maintain a normal schedule just like you would at home.
Serena, I wanted to welcome you here. I'm here with about 300 excited 3rd and 4th grade students and several staff and community leaders that are eager to talk with you. The High Plains Library District is the 7th largest library system in Colorado. We serve most of Weld County and parts of neighboring counties, and we're not too far from your hometown of Fort Collins. We've gathered our questions today from libraries all across schools and libraries across the nation. Thank you so much for spending time with us.
Hello, my name is
Very excited
Andrew.
to be with you guys today, especially at my home state of Colorado.
Hello, my name is Andrew Dieterle from Frontier Academy in Greeley, Colorado. Do you have any heroes that made you want to become an astronaut?
So honestly, a lot of my heroes certainly came from my family and all the teachers I had in school. Those were the folks that helped encourage me all along the way because I wanted to be an astronaut when I was very little. I remember about the time of the 3rd grade, 4th grade. And so I would tell this idea to my family and tell this idea to my teachers, and they did nothing but encourage me. And those are the sorts of people you want to be around, because anybody that tells you can't do something or isn't very positive around you, don't listen to that. Listen to the people who love you, the people who care about you, and the people who want to make you very successful with whatever you want to do.
This question is from Jackson Elementary in Greeley, Colorado. What do you do for fun in space?
Man, so I have to tell you, the best thing is just floating everywhere. We can bounce. I can bounce off the floor. I can push off the ceiling. I can do somersaults. I can go everywhere. And that's everywhere we go up here in the space station. Everywhere I go to work, I get to float there. So that, by far, that is the most fun thing we do in space. But other things we do as a crew, we love movie night. We go to the movies too, just like you guys do back there at home. And we have special movie candy and movie foods, and it's just fun to get the crew together to do things like that. So, and we even come up with our own games, and we've got soccer balls and other sorts of things up here where we get to have fun. So, but the best part, again, is we get to do it while floating.
This question is from a few people across the nation. How do you control your floating while on the space station and when doing spacewalks?
Well, I tell you, when you first get up here, it is really hard, and you almost act like you do on Earth, where you want to use your hands to control everything. But then, and I'll show you here, you very quickly learn that you have to almost be like a monkey. And so if I want to work on the ceiling, I just float my feet up and hold right on. And here are my hands. I can do whatever I want to with my hands. And so the first month or so, this was really hard. It was really hard for me to learn that I could work in any position. But now that I've been up here, it's almost natural, and I don't even think about it. Now, I don't hold on to things with my feet, but my feet hold me down to the ground, or the ground on the space station. There really is no up or down. And that allows me to do whatever I want. So we're actually more free up here because I can work in any space on board the space station, not just on ground level like you do back on Earth.
This question is from Milliken Middle School in Colorado. What is a typical day like?
Ooh, our days are pretty long up here. We wake up about 6 or 6:30 if we get up on time and eat our breakfast. And then our days start about 7:30 where we talk with Mission Control, not just in Houston. We talk with Mission Control all over the world because we have many of them. So we talk with Houston, we talk with Moscow, we talk with Japan, we talk with Munich, we talk with Huntsville, Alabama. And so all these Mission Controls are helping us to organize our day and let us know what the plan is. And once we know what the plan is, then we get to work and we have the special timeline that we follow. But we do science. We do maintenance on the space station, and people say, well, why would you do maintenance? Well, station is getting older, plus there's always things you need to do to make sure things run correctly. Like with the toilet, you can't just let it go until it completely breaks. You got to make sure that all those parts are new, and so every couple of months we take a look at everything and make sure that everything is replaced and working as it should. Other things we do, we get ready for spacewalks, we use the robotic arm. No day is the same up here. Every day is different, and sometimes we are surprised, knock on wood, by different things that happen to us up here on the space station. So no day is boring. They can be long days. We work pretty much from 7:30 in the morning till 7:30 at night. And then the crew all gets together. We always eat dinner together every night. That's very important for us because we are a family up here. So we eat dinner, and then we call our own families on Earth. And I can pretty much call just about any cell phone I want to on the Earth. So I always talk with my family. And then before you know it, it's 9 or 10 o'clock at night, and it's time to go to bed.
This question is from a few people across the nation. Do you feel like you have more energy in space or less?
Depends on the day. But for the most part, I feel like my energy levels are about the same as they are on Earth. I have to say it is kind of neat when you get up every morning and float off to breakfast. So that gives a boost to your energy levels. But really, I've noticed no difference. It does take you a few weeks to get used to things up here and used to the way your body is feeling when you first go into space. But we'll talk about that a little later.
This question is from Fairchild Nicholas Memorial Library in Connecticut. How were your creativity and problem-solving skills encouraged in your astronaut training?
So we look at problem-solving skills and being creative all the time in training. In training, they teach us a lot about the systems of the space station and about the different things that might break or might go wrong. And when things break, they don't always break the same way twice. And so a lot of times, the mission control on the ground is asking you, basically, what do you think happened here? What do you think went wrong? Let's work on this together. And so you're really using those problem-solving skills to think about each system and figure out what could have gone wrong. And a lot of times, the ground or mission control will ask you, what do you think is the best solution here? How can we best do these robotic operations this day? How can we best fix the toilet today? How can we best, if we're looking at a science experiment, what's the best way to get results that are useful to people on the ground? So we're always asked up here for our input, which we really enjoy because it feels like we're making a difference.
This question is from East Meadow Public Library in New York. What were your reactions and feelings when you entered the space station for the first time?
You know, I'll tell you, so the most interesting thing is when we opened that hatch from our Soyuz into the space station, it was the smell, and not the smell of the space station. It was the smell of the external part of our Soyuz hatch that had been exposed to space. To me, it smelled like a burnt electrical smell, and I noted it immediately, and I said, wow, it smells like something is burning, an electrical smell. And Drew Feustel, who was our commander at the time, said, yep. He goes, that is the smell of space. You will smell that every time we go out on a spacewalk and we bring the suits back in. You will smell that every time we have a vehicle that docks. Now, our current commander, Alex Gerst, said, well, that's true. You can call it the smell of space, but it's really something called atomic oxygen hitting that material. But I just thought smells are can cause very strong memories. And so for me, that sort of burnt-like smell is what I will first remember about coming into the space station.
This question is from Maricopa Public Library in Arizona. What are some of your favorite things to do for relaxation during your downtime on the space station?
Well, honestly, during downtime, it's really nice when we have quiet Saturday and Sunday mornings because our days are so busy during the week. When we get to wake up and maybe sleep in a little bit, get a little extra sleep, and then we can sit there and read the news or read our favorite book, and we play music because we've got special speakers up here, and we can pick our favorite artist and listen to music. And those are some of our favorite times up here because it's so calm and relaxing. And then I can float over to the cupola, which is that special window to the earth that we have up here, and look down at the earth. And I think yesterday we were crossing over Africa, and it was nighttime, and it was the most amazing lightning show. There were thunderstorms all across Africa, and all I saw was just lightning flash after lightning flash, and it was such a huge area. I had to stop what I was doing at the time and just watch it for 5 or 10 minutes. And I think on Earth we sometimes forget to stop and watch things that are beautiful. And sometimes we do up here too, so I try to remind myself to do that as much as I can.
This question is from St. John's County Public Library, Statham in Florida. Why does your body get weaker when you're in space?
Well, and the big answer to that is gravity. Now, that is something you don't notice. Even right now, when you're sitting here watching me, you're sitting in your chair, you're sitting upright, or you're walking around. Your body is working against gravity. You just don't notice it because it's been there all your life. But once you get up here to the space station and that gravity isn't there and I get to float everywhere, it's no work to float. I can sit and do this all day long, and my body's not working at all. I don't have to work anywhere. I don't have to walk anywhere. There's nothing heavy I have to lift because there is no gravity up here. And so once that happens, your bones and muscles know right away they're not having to work as hard. And so they start to get a little bit weaker. And that will happen every day until we return home. And so if we don't do something to stop that, then we'd be very, very weak by the time we got home. So what we do is we exercise for about 2 to 2.5 hours every day. We have special machines up here that we can run on, and it actually adds some load, or what we call load, so it weighs us down. And we actually have a special machine to help us lift weights. And you think, well, weights don't weigh anything on the space station. Well, we have a special machine that causes that using vacuum tubes. So we're able to do any sort of exercise on the ground we can do up here, and that helps us keep our bones and muscles strong.
This question is from Maplewood Elementary School in Greeley, Colorado. What do the stars, planets, and moon look like from your space station?
You know, I get that question a lot up here, and I even wondered myself. And the most amazing thing is they look almost the same as what you see on the ground. I just get to see a lot more of it. They are a little brighter, but really the space station, when I got up here for the first time and I looked back at the Earth, I thought, wow, we are close to the Earth's surface. And in your mind, you know you're close, but until you get there and see the Earth, you don't realize how close you are. And so we see stars, the moon, everything really very much the same as you do. The benefit that I have is I get a much better view, a kind of 360 view all the way around in our special window. And if we turn off all the lights in that module, we can see the entire Milky Way just about any time we want to. And that's beautiful.
This question is from Frontier Academy in Greeley, Colorado. What type of studies are you conducting right now on the space station?
Wow, there are hundreds of them at any one time. Too many to talk about, but I'll talk about some that are going on right now. Certainly, we as astronauts up here, we are undergoing studies ourselves. We get our blood drawn, just like you would in the doctor's office. They even look at our urine. We do that almost every month, and we take those samples and we freeze them and we bring them back down to the Earth because we want to see how the body is changing in space. Right back here, you may see this orange tape that's back here. This is a special study looking at something called sediment, which is basically a collection of sand, and how that reacts when there's no gravity. And scientists are looking at that to help predict what might happen in rivers when there's things like pollution in the river. So it's a really important scientific experiment going on right over there. I'm in the Japanese module today, and just about 20 feet away from me, we are growing plants, something called plant habitat here on the space station. And the interesting thing about that, because tomorrow I get to do a plant harvest, I get to actually pull the plants out and see how much they've grown, is without gravity, the stems of those plants are all curlicued, and they grow in different directions, not just straight up and down like you see on Earth. So a lot of times, many plants on Earth depend on gravity to tell them how to grow and in what direction. But up here on the space station, there isn't any gravity. And so when they don't know what direction to grow in, they grow in all directions. And so I'm really looking forward to seeing those plants tomorrow to see how they've grown over the past 2 to 3 weeks.
This question is from Highland Elementary School. What is it like to ride in a rocket ship?
Pretty darn cool, I must say. When you sit on that rocket ship and you're strapped in with your special suit on and a very special seat made just for you, and those engines light, you know you are going somewhere real fast. And so, but the ride was very, very smooth. The Soyuz is an incredible machine. And maybe you all heard on the news, about a week ago, we had a Soyuz launch where the engines had some issue, but we brought the crew home safely, which is the most important thing. And that's part of the rocket itself, is we have those special systems to help protect the crew in case something goes wrong. And so we were very happy to see our 2 friends, who were supposed to be up here with us right now, but they are safe with their families on the Earth. And so the rocket we ride in is a wonderful machine. It was a very, very smooth ride. It was about 8.5 minutes of engines burning. And then once that last engine cut off, you knew you were in space and things were floating. And so that was really, really cool.
This question is from Maplewood Elementary School in Greeley, Colorado. Have you ever had a guinea pig on the space station?
We have never had a guinea pig. So the Russians sent some guinea pigs to space back in the early 60s, and the Chinese also sent some guinea pigs at some point. We've never had guinea pigs on the space station. We have had mice. We recently had mice where we've done some experiments on them. We've also had bumblebees, and we've had spiders. No extra animals up here right now. We'll probably will get some in the future, though.
This question is from Frontier Academy in Greeley, Colorado. What is the importance of going to space?
I'm glad you asked that question. People, I think, don't ask that question enough anymore. As humans on this planet, all of us are curious about what's out there and what's beyond this planet. And so I think as part of our species, we will be living on planet Earth for a very long time, but I think at some point we will also be living elsewhere. In order to get to a far-off place like Mars, which takes a really long time to get to, you need to practice at places that are closer to home to start off with. And so for many years we practiced with the shuttle. Now we practice with the space station, where we're very, very close to the Earth's surface. And we practice learning what it's like for humans to live in space. How do our bodies change? How do we go to the bathroom? How do our systems work? Can we provide oxygen? Can we provide food? And then we learn how to do that really, really well. And then we take another step out further and further and further. Because I think it's really part of our destiny to explore what's out there. We can't stay in one place forever. And so it's really neat to see engineers on the ground. And I know that some of you who are in school right now, when you grow up, you're going to be part of this team that is going to take us to Mars. Or you may be the first person that goes to Mars. I'll be too old for that, but you're not too old for that. And so it's really exciting to think about what lies ahead. Sometimes it's hard to see because Mars seems so far off, but I think we're getting there.
Serena, that was our last question. I want to thank you on behalf of the High Plains Library District, the Space Science Institute's Star Library Network, and public libraries nationwide. Thank you so much for your time today and your support of public libraries and STEM education.
Absolutely. It was great to talk to you, everybody. Good luck with everything.
Station, this is Houston ACR. That concludes the event.
Thank you to all participants from the High Plains Library District and Star Library Network. Station, we are now resuming operational audio communications.